A jolly day to everyone. We are the Fly Ace Corporation, and I am here, Kiana Maravilla, to be with you as we delve to the different risks our company will face and how we are going to manage it through the use of derivatives. So again, we are the Fly Ace Corporation, a Philippine-based company operating for over 50 years in the food and beverage industry. We are the manufacturers of the well-known Jolly products such as the Claro Palm Oil, Jolly Mushrooms, Fish Hams, and the famous Jolly Corns. Since we regularly purchase corns globally, we are directly affected by the 13.1% price increase of corns in US. Also, it is expected to have higher corn prices in Europe in 2026. Meanwhile, Southeast Asia expects to have a stable price. We might have other risks such as foreign exchange risk, but today we will focus on commodity price risks. The risk will further be discussed by our risk analyst.
Good day everyone, I'll be presenting the risk analysis part of our report focusing on Fly Ace Corporation exposure to corn price fluctuations. And due to lack of publicly available financial data regarding Fly Ace Corporation's actual corn purchases, our analysis is based on reasonable estimates and industry benchmarks. These assumptions are supported by the market information showing that global and local grains prices, including corns, are expected to increase because of inflation supply conditions and weather-related risks. The primary risk faced by the Fly Ace Corporation is commodity price risk, specifically the rise of rising corn prices. To measure the potential impact, we use the following assumptions. Annual corn requirements, 500,000 kg, current price, 15 per kilogram, expected future price is 18 per kilogram, and the price increase is 3 per kilogram. The maximum potential loss of this is computed as 5,000 kg multiplied by 3, which result in a 1,500,000 loss. This means that if Fly Ace Corporation does not hedge and the corn price rise as expected, the company can lose this amount of money.
Good day, I'm Maxabeda, and in this slide, this describes a scenario where, without risk management, a rise in input prices to 18 pesos per kilo results in a 1.5 million peso loss for the company, illustrating the worst case impact of price increases without hedging. So next, unhedged P&L scenarios. So this table shows what happens to Fly Ace Corporation's profit or loss if it does not hedge and corn prices change. So FAC's unhedged P&L varies with corn prices at 14 pesos per kilogram. So this saves 500,000 pesos. At 15 pesos per kilogram, break even, and at 18 pesos per kilogram, incurs a 1.5 million pesos loss. So lastly, without hedging, FAC's profits fluctuate with corn prices. A drop to 14 pesos per kilogram saves 500,000 pesos, boosting profits. So at 15 pesos per kilogram, profits are unaffected. And a rise to 18 pesos per kilogram results in a 1.5 million pesos loss, highlighting significant risk from price volatility. In the neutral scenario, prices remain at 15 pesos per kilogram, causing no gain or loss. If the unfavorable scenario, prices increases to 18 pesos, resulting in a 1.5 million pesos loss for Fly Ace Corporation.
I am Hazel Bool and I will be discuss the derivative specialist. I also explain the two hedging instruments and explain how each instrument works and explain why using two derivatives is better than one rule in the written report. So, based on the news, corn prices are expected to increase next year. Since Fly Ace Corporation uses corn as one of its main raw materials, the company is exposed to price risk. Higher corn prices will increase production costs and may reduce the company's profits in this coming year. So, because the exact price increase is not available, reasonable estimates were used. Fly Ace Corporation is assumed to need 500,000 kilograms of corn per year. So, the current price is 15 pesos per kilogram, and the expected future price is at 18 pesos per kilogram, which is an increase of 3 pesos per kilogram if Fly Ace Corporation does not protect itself from this price increase and buys corn prices rise. The company will not incur an additional cost of 1.5 million pesos. This shows how serious the price risk is if no action is taken. So for the hedging instruments, to manage the risk, different hedging instruments were considered. A forward contract is suitable because it allows Fly Ace Corporation to lock in a fixed price for corn in the future, reducing uncertainty. However, it creates binding obligations, meaning FAC or Fly Ace Corporation must buy corn at the agreed price even if market prices fall, which can result in missed savings. A futures contract is not suitable because it is standardized and may not match FAC or Fly Ace Corporation's exact corn requirements, causing cash flows fluctuations. A put option is also not appropriate because it protects against price decreases, which would actually benefit FAC as a buyer. A swap contract is not ideal either because it is usually used for long-term agreements and lacks flexibility for operational purchases. Among the available strategies, the call option is the best choice. A call option gives Fly Ace Corporation the right, but not the obligation, to buy corn at fixed price. This protects the company if corn prices fall. The maximum loss is limited to the option premium, making the risk predictable and manageable. So lastly, for the best choice, forward contract, it's not the best. Why? Because Fly Ace Corporation agrees to buy corn at a fixed price in the future, and this locks the price, which sounds good at first. And also, But if corn prices goes down, Fly Ace Corporation is still forced to buy at a higher agreed price. And this means no flexibility and possible lost profit. And also because of this risk, lost opportunity, the forward contract is not the best choice. So, the call option is the best choice. Why? Because Fly Ace Corporation pays a premium for the right or not the obligation to buy corn at a set price. And also, if corn price goes up, Fly Ace Corporation is protected because it can buy at the lowest option price. And then if corn price goes down, Fly Ace Corporation can ignore the option and buy at a cheaper market price. And also, the worst loss is only the premium paid. This gives protection and flexibility, making it the best choice. That's all. Thank you.
So for the next slide, we will talk about why did the Fly Ace Corporation chose a call option. So basically, a call option works like an insurance, and it gives the company the right to buy corn later at a fixed price. And in our case, that fixed price is 16 pesos per kilo. So in order to get this protection, Fly Ace Corporation needs to pay a small fee called a premium, which is 0.50 per kilo. So since the company needs 500,000 kilos of corn, the total premium will be 250,000 pesos. And what's important here is that this amount is already the maximum risk. So no matter what happens to corn prices, Fly Ace already knows the most it can lose. So next is hedge outcome scenario. So we have here two scenarios. So for the first one, the price rises to 18 pesos per kilogram. So if the market price rises to 18 pesos per kilo, Fly Ace Corporation can use its call option. And they can still buy corn at 16 pesos per kilo. So that means that the company saves 2 pesos per kilo. And when we multiply 2 pesos by 500,000 kilos of corn, the total savings will reach 1 million pesos. And even after subtracting the 250,000 pesos premium, the company still ends up with a 750,000 pesos net benefit. So in this situation, the call option clearly pays off. It protects the company and even helps it save money. So for the second scenario, the price stays at 15 pesos per kilogram. So if the price stays at 15 pesos per kilo, which is lower than the strike price, Fly Ace Corporation simply doesn't use the option. Instead, it buys corn directly from the market at the cheaper price. So the only cost here is the premium, which is the 250,000 pesos. So there are no surprises or no additional losses. And this shows how a call option gives flexibility to the company. So you can only use it when it makes sense. So next is comparison of hedge and unhedged outcome. So for the first scenario, when the price rises to 18 pesos, without the call option, Fly Ace Corporation could lose as much as 1.5 million pesos. But as you can see here with the hedge in place, the company actually earns 750,000 pesos net benefit. And if the price stays at 15 pesos, without the hedging, the company has no loss. While when the hedging happens, the company only lose the 250,000 pesos premium. So think of it as the cost of peace of mind. So overall, the call option helps Fly Ace Corporation avoid big losses while keeping costs under control.
Good day, I am Babylin Ortiz, and I will be serving as a compliance officer behind Fly Ace Corporation's hedging strategy. So about the legitimacy of the hedging strategy, the option is directly linked to the need to buy corn for production, which is a real business risk. This follows good corporate governance and standard risk management practices. For the compliance with accounting and financial regulations, the hedge is well documented. For the financial reporting and disclosure, so FAC must follow this process as proper disclosure improves transparency and shows the maximum possible loss. Last, to achieve good governance when using derivatives, Fly Ace Corporation must ensure strong internal controls to prevent misuse and keep hedging aligned with actual risk.
Good day, I'm Christopher Cal. Now let's talk about the ethical implications of the hedging strategy. So the first one is the prudence and fiduciary responsibility. So it means legal or ethical obligation to act in the best interest of the another party. The next one is the avoiding speculation. So Fly Ace Corporation avoids this issue because of their inclusions. They have a know what you own or don't buy assets you don't understand and manage risk. Focus on risk management, not just potential returns. That's why Fly Ace Corporation have their maintaining discipline to their impulsive actions. Last one is the fairness and market integrity. So they have these inclusions because they have transparency and equal access to their customers and participants.
I am Kiana Maravilla once again, and I would like to highlight that Fly Ace Corporation is exposed to commodity price risk for 500,000 kilograms of corn that will be purchased. To manage the risk, we will enter into future contracts covering 80% of the volume in order to lock in price stability. The remaining 20% will be hedged using call options, which provide low-cost insurance while allowing upside participation. This hedging strategy protects the company from unfavorable price movements while still enabling potential gains if corn prices decline through the option position. Additionally, our total cost exposure is limited to the option premium of 214,350 pesos only, as future contracts do not require an upfront premium. Once again, we are Fly Ace Corporation, and this is how we manage our commodity price risk. Thank you for listening, and always remember, just like the derivative instruments, what we protect today defines what we achieve tomorrow. Thank you.